Wendy Freed in La Jolla, California. I want to congratulate you on all your success. Do you use your intuition to help you make business decisions, and has using that intuition for business ever backfired?
Wow, you have some great questions. Yes and yes, and I'll tell you why. When anyone's intuition, but I will say my own personal experience, right? Whenever I've wanted something too much, my intuition is on the fritz. And I cannot, so consequently, if I make a decision and I convince myself that I'm getting an intuitive hit, I'm pretty good at not doing that, but yes, in fact, I have seen my intuition backfire. I've had one very, very painful experience a number of years ago when I wasn't sophisticated enough to know that I was meant to see something right through instead of just jumping on something. So I've had one experience that I've never repeated based on a business investment that I did, and then after I did it, my intuition went, just like the voice, uh-oh.
You bet on horse number 8.
Yeah, exactly. I put it on number 8. So, and I think sometimes when intuition it should be used in conjunction, not only alone, but with intelligence as well. So you have to use it in tandem with. It can't be just, always on its own, especially when you're making a business decision. But I would say I'm pretty on the money now with things, and so far I haven't made any decisions in the past few years, anyhow, that haven't been on the money.
And thanks for listening, Wendy in La Jolla, California. Colette, let me just go back to spirit guides for a second. Something that I wanted to ask you, because I think that you're a great person to ask. In the industry, you do get great authors like yourself, and you have so many other books that explain this stuff. But a lot of people don't feel any of that. I consider myself a very spiritual person. I feel connected with people. I always say I see people from 1,000 miles away. The second I see them, I could tell you all about them. But I don't think I've ever contacted a spirit guide. I don't feel a guide around me. I don't ever feel that kind of stuff. I've had some experiences in my life where I think I've mentioned to you where I've helped somebody who was in the flesh as far as I was concerned, but then turned around, they weren't there.
They weren't there, I know.
Yeah, but I've never had that. What do you say to people who read this stuff, and then, you could read about the Akashic Records. I have enough trouble going to the library. Never mind the Akashic Records.
Well, actually, you know what? Let me just mention on the Akashic Records, that's something I know about, and that's just a word. That's a word. The Akashic Records is just a word that people at some point in our cultural evolution have figured out to call what the collective is in terms of our collective memory. So that's just a word, and we have to be visual about things. So we've created some fantastic place called the Akashic Records, where there's some library where you go and you get the.
So it's not a place.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
But it does exist. As a matter of fact, there's some science books written about it, and I can't remember the guy's name because I actually had to get my sister to explain it to me because I couldn't get through it. So, and she's a PhD, so I sometimes I go, listen, can you please read this and then say it back to me in grade 9 language?
Right.
But anyway, the Akashic field is now expressed in science as the field, the mind of God, they call it, or nature, or the mind of nature, or the collective unconscious, or the collective memory. So that's what I would say to that. But the mystical terminology of it is confusing because we'll say, Now, when it comes to spirit guides, I got to be honest with you. We're on a topic that I actually shy away from because I'd even tell people when I'm on stage, please do not ask me what your spirit guide's name is. I haven't got a clue. I don't know. I don't always feel mine around me. I don't always know, that there is anything around me other than the fact that I believe in a higher power I choose to call God, and that's good and good orderly direction. And I don't really think it's that important if you connect to a guide or not. As a matter of fact, I think if you don't, so what?
I think my question is a little different. It's more the people I meet who feel like they're disappointed within themselves. I have enough internal strength to say,
see what you're saying.
Know what? I'm a good guy. I do good things. I don't know my spirit guides. For some reason, I don't feel that. I don't feel the Akashic Records. I don't know why. I just know it's there. I don't know why. Whatever. I keep going. Some people feel, look, I read this book, and it says I should be able to feel or channel, and I should be able to do this if I'm this, and I don't feel anything. Does that mean I'm a crappy human being? Or, some people get broken down from that.
I didn't hear what you were asking me. Well, I mean, what do you say to someone like that? Well, first of all, there is no rules or regulation about what you can or cannot perceive. You know, like sometimes some of us, I mean, there are days where I feel like I don't connect at all to anything, and I just have to be okay with that. And that has no bearing on whether you are a good person or a spiritual person or not. We are all spiritual beings having a human experience. But sometimes, you know, people try too hard and try to intellectualize or analyze and say, I have to do these things and therefore I'm going to get that. You know, I've done these exercises over and over and over again for months on end and get nothing. I mean, and I teach this stuff. So, I mean, there are moments where you surrender to the dynamic relationship you have with Spirit, and there are moments where you will not get anything. And it doesn't mean that you are less than or anything in comparison to someone else. That's my opinion.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Question?
Yes, it does.
Did I answer that?
Yes, it does. I'm going to go with Derek Rellers in Evansville, Indiana. I would love Colette to explain how karma works, and are we experiencing karma at a quicker pace these days?
Where do you get these intelligent people?
They're like magnets to this show. It's fantastic. And when you come on, we get extra good questions.
But I mean, this is really, I mean, I love this because this is, you know, I love to talk about all this stuff too. So, and I rarely get a chance to answer so many really interesting questions, and sometimes I just don't know the answer. But you know, I've listened very, very intently to Deepak Chopra's views on this, right? And karma, because everybody has opinions. Like karma means, oh, you're going to get yours, right? You know, and the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing, right? And
the no universal debt goes unpaid.
Yes, but you know, karma is really cause and effect, and karma is an action. That's what it actually means. It translates to action, and so that when there is an action, there is a reaction. And you may not know, like the butterfly effect. You might do something today, and then it has an effect later, and then you are then responsible for that effect. And so everything is like the universe is a self-correcting universe, right? So yes, I really believe things are escalating right now. I'm in agreement with both the mystical and the scientific view that you know, everything is accelerating right now, and so yes, I think that we're seeing the debits and credits going very rapidly through the system. Why is that? Well, I think it's because there's more people on the planet. I think the advent of the Internet, where there is a technological capacity for us to communicate with each other and also affect one another in either a positive or negative way. So we will see vast changes in a very quick period of time. Plus, we're also in the cusp of the Aquarian age, and we are seeing the shadow side of that now, which is, of course, the call to global oneness, right? So we have this consciousness that, you know, that's why your show is the most popular show on the Internet, and it is, too, and I know that for a fact because I know you're #1 on iTunes for podcasts, because you are talking about empowered living, right? You're asking everybody to be conscious, you know, of all these different aspects of living and life, but you're connecting to people all over the world, so you affect that. So your karma, and the show's karma is actually playing itself out because it's informing other people, and then hopefully their actions and reactions will then cause another cause and effect, right? So, because that's how that works. Now, on the shadow side of the Aquarian age right now is elitism. So you're seeing this, on one hand, you're having this call for global oneness, and then on the other hand, you're still seeing the wars and the dissonance between countries and stuff over oil. One wants to dominate the other. You're seeing, you know, I don't know if you know this, but there's a movement to crack down on the Internet so that by a very small elite group of people, business people, so that they can control freedom of information. That's going on right now while we're entering into this supposed happy, joyous, and free era. So you're seeing that's a karma as well, right? You're seeing one action and then a reaction because we are so far in our spiritual and cultural and civilizational, if that's a word, evolutionary process right now. We are going to be seeing all kinds of things, but also influenced by the astrological age that we're entering into, too. So it's pretty complicated, but it's very interesting. And so I would say, I guess the answer to that would be, was that answer yes?
I think that you explained it. Just wanted an explanation, and you hit both of those. And thanks for listening.
There's a lot more to it than